J.J. Abrams, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder! Hello, my dudes. Welcome back. Hope we are well. I'm Steph Koza, and I have a lot of thoughts and feelings to share with you today. Star Wars, Rise of Skywalker, the third installment of the newest Star Wars trilogy. I don't even know where to begin with this fucking movie. Okay. I'm just gonna be straight with you. Hated it. Fucking hated this movie. I hated it. I'm actually furious. I've been like letting it simmer, you know, I didn't want to go into my review with rage. I'm just furious. And I've been trying to think about why I don't like it. Why is it bad? Is it just because everyone's telling me that it's bad? I went in knowing that I'm supposed to think that this is bad? Is it just the overall sloppiness of the film? What is it about it that makes me hate it so much? And I came up with the conclusion that there is one thing that is like the core of this movie, the core of Star Wars as a story generally, and that is camaraderie. That's kind of the heart of these movies. All the way back to the beginning, that's what it was all about. That was what fueled the fire. That's what made them win, because they're just this group of people with nothing, just a bunch of scumbags, and the odds are not in their favor. But when they're together, they're stronger, and they just love each other, and that's how they win. And it's like motivating, and it makes you feel good. Friendship, all that corny shit, I love it. And they tried to do that with this series, and I just don't buy it. It's the core, it's the foundation of this entire movie. That's what's really at the heart of it, and it's not there. So everything else on top of it just, I mean, look at the original trilogy. Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, R2, C3PO, they're family. They love each other, and you can tell. You know, they bicker, they make fun of each other, but they love each other, and you can feel it, and you love them, and you're like, yes, they're gonna win because they're just amazing. When I look at Rey, Finn, and Poe, I don't buy it. Finn just has this awkward and pathetic crush on Rey. Not a great basis for a good friendship. Finn and Poe, okay, I buy that. They have some like weird bromance thing going on, and I'm into it. I get it. Okay, sure. Rey and Poe, have they ever had a meaningful interaction with each other ever? Didn't they like just meet at the end of Last Jedi? Why are they suddenly hugging and loving each other and crying and like, oh my god, I can't believe you're alive? Who cares? You don't care about each other. This is just forced into... That was supposed to be a minor bullet point and it turned into a whole rant. Moving on. This movie is a really jarring experience. It just like whisks you around from beat to beat and just with no rhyme or reason. It's so fast-paced. I mean, the first 10 minutes, so much happens, but I don't even know what happened. I have no idea what happened in the first 10 minutes. If you ask me to summarize, suspenseful, dramatic, action-packed stuff. It was just a lot of unexplained tension. You can't just make a suspenseful, dramatic scene without making me care. Sloppy. The writing in this movie was sloppy. It felt like a bad fan fiction. Like it really felt like a bad fan fiction. One thing in particular that I'm gonna get into in my spoiler review, don't you worry. Bad fan fiction. I don't know, J.J. Abrams was just like trying to retcon everything that Rian Johnson did in The Last Jedi, maybe because he felt like he just wanted to continue the story that he originally wanted to tell in The Force Awakens, and then, you know, that got interrupted, that got derailed by The Last Jedi, and instead of, you know, continuing, you know, working off of that to make it make sense. You know, say what you will about Last Jedi, but it was going into some interesting directions. It was taking some bold moves. And I was excited. It paved the way for something. And instead, Abrams just went with the story that he wanted to tell. Or what he thought people wanted to hear. It felt very much like fan pandering, like, oh, well, people didn't like this. So what if we just erased that and instead made it this? Yeah. But it wasn't smooth, and it didn't solve anything. And it just didn't work. There's also a lot of luck in this film. A lot of, oh, here's a problem. Oh, but look at how this convenient answer has just appeared in front of us before our very eyes within the past 5 seconds. I didn't even get a chance to think about what could they possibly do to solve this problem. It just instantly solved. Here's a problem, here's an answer. Here's a problem, here's an answer. What? That's not how real life works. I want to see them struggle. I want to see them try and figure out how to solve this impossible problem. I want them to be at rock bottom, not just like, gliding through this weird roller coaster of ups and downs for no reason. That's not entertaining. That's not inspiring. That's boring. This movie made me seasick. I felt like I was being spoon-fed a story, and the story tasted like shit. I really wish one person had directed this trilogy. And I know that was the plan, I guess, but it's one cohesive story, or at least it's supposed to be, and when you hand it off to 12,000 different people, there are too many cooks in the kitchen, nothing is consistent, everyone has a different idea of what they want that story to be, and everyone has a different vision. Rian Johnson had an interesting vision. J.J. Abrams, I loved The Force Awakens. I thought it was great. It was fun. It, satisfied all of my Star Wars needs. But you can't pass this movie along like a neglected foster child and expect it to turn out okay. That kid's gonna grow up to have some serious mental issues. The problem is this trilogy had no plan, and you can tell. It's very obvious. There was J.J. Abrams' plan, and Rian Johnson's plan, and everyone else's plan, and they just didn't mix. I am one of the few people that actually did enjoy The Last Jedi. Yeah, there are some parts that I pretend don't exist, but there's a good movie in there. Overall, I thought it was really fun. And it has one of the best fight scenes in all of Star Wars history. Prove me wrong. But Rise of Skywalker is a lazy attempt at trying to correct Last Jedi, trying to please the complaining fanboys that shit all over it, instead of just being brave and making something good. I mean, you're Star Wars! You're fucking Star Wars! You can do whatever the fuck you want and people will see it. I don't want to say this movie is complete dog shit, because it's not. It's 95% dog shit. I think if you cut it down into all of the scenes that I liked, it'd be like a 3-minute short film. But, it'd be a really good one. I think C-3PO was one of my favorite characters, which is not a sentence I ever thought I would say about a Star Wars movie, but he was good. He was great. I loved him. Kylo Ren still stands as my favorite character in the entire trilogy. I think despite some minor things in this film, he still maintained being awesome, and I still loved everything about him and his character development, and it's just so interesting. And I love him. His story and Rey's story are what kept me from falling asleep at my 11:45 p.m. showing. And even that they managed to screw up. Even that story it was weird. I'm just gonna say that. It was weird. There are moments that are supposed to be serious, intense moments. And the crowd was laughing. I was laughing and I was like, I know I'm not supposed to be laughing right now, but this is fucking ridiculous. That's not supposed to happen. The entire theater was laughing. There are decisions that they made about these characters that make no sense. It goes completely against everything we've been told and just retcons everything. It's just, why? There are plot twists just for the sake of plot twists that would never happen. Just for the sake of progressing this far too complicated plot further and further into chaos at light speed. You can't go light speed when the converters are down or something. You have to fix the foundations first. God damn it. J.J. Abrams, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder. I actually think, as a whole, as a trilogy, the prequels were better. Okay, I said it. They're not great. They're not great movies, but it's a cohesive story. It's 3 movies that complement each other. It's a full story that makes sense, and it still has a lot to give. It has a lot of shit, but it has a lot to give. This trilogy is a mess. I don't know what to take away from this. There's nothing to take away from this, really. It has no idea where it wants to go or what it wants to say. So at the end it has to wrap up a million confusing loose ends without paying any mind to the thing that really drives these films, which is the characters. You can have the most interesting plot in the world, but if I don't care about the characters, I'm not going to care about anything. If I don't believe in their motivations, I don't give a shit. In the originals, you love Luke. He's a stupid idiot and you love him. He's the underdog that you want to root for. Leia, amazing. I would die for her. Han, my one true love. My everything. The coolest cat. The best character with the best lines, and you just can't help but love him. In this new trilogy, sure, I love Rey. She's awesome. She's a badass. But she's not relatable like Luke. She's not really an underdog because she's like this god tier, nothing is difficult for her Jedi like warrior woman, which is cool, but do you get what I'm saying? She's barely struggled to get here. Everything comes easy. It's not that interesting. Who are you? A mystery. Finn? Okay, honestly, I have a lot of thoughts and feelings about Finn. I am so angry about Finn. Finn used to be a stormtrooper. That's fucking cool. He has such a cool backstory. I want to know more about that. Like, what a neat, cool, interesting character development that we never get. What the fuck? I have the capacity to love him and be so interested, but I just don't give a shit. Poe, he's alright. I really liked him in The Force Awakens. I hated him in The Last Jedi. I liked him in this one. He was pretty good. But it's just, I don't know, I didn't get enough. There was something missing. I feel like I just haven't had enough time with him to really love him. The only person that I truly love is Kylo Ren, and he's a villain! What? That is some ass backwards bullshit. I felt nothing when I watched this film. Nothing. Maybe some minor moments of like nostalgia and, you know, fan service that struck with me. But otherwise, I didn't really feel any emotional connection to anything. This epic Star Wars trilogy came to an end, and I felt nothing. I felt things when Anakin's face melted off at the end of Revenge of the Sith, okay? I felt things. Didn't love it, but I still felt things. Ugh, I'm angry. Watching this felt like watching the Game of Thrones finale all over again. Not a thing I ever wanted to do, but here we are. This is my life. I don't know what to rate this movie, guys. I need to like take off my Star Wars rose-colored glasses. I need to just look at this movie as a movie. Rise of Skywalker is an unorganized mess. It's a tired film with no organization, and it rushes to the finish line, and by the time it gets there, it's like out of breath. With no emotional resonance whatsoever, it tries to force thoughts into your brain, like it's trying to convince you that it's a good movie. Like here, maybe if we paint a picture of an emotionally intense scene and make it look like what's happening is important, they'll believe it. We aren't stupid. This movie sucks. I'm giving it a 2 out of 5. 1 star for Rey, 1 star for Kylo, and the rest is all bullshit.